Hey guys, my name is Veteran91 and welcome back to another Dyson Sphere Program episode. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. So the first thing I want to be working on today and get done is setting up the production for Tesla towers and wireless power towers. Now I know I said in the last episode, except for the fact that it wasn't caught on screen, we were going to actually go over to NF2, the sand planet in the solar system, and start working on excavating some resources from there. But plans on that have been delayed a little bit. So I want to set up Tesla towers and wireless power towers as our next goal here so that we can start transmitting power over further distances, and of course have the prerequisites to build satellite substations as soon as we have the production of the components like frame material up and running, which is another thing that we might be looking into getting into, but that won't come until a little bit later because we need carbon nanotube set up before we do frame materials. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so welcome back to the production facility. As you can see, we have this set up so that we are creating the wireless power tower. Really weird name, that's alright. We're gonna go ahead and take our production and go to there, and then we're gonna go up and we're gonna go right over here, and we're gonna go back down. And this will allow us to put a single storage facility into here for the storage of the wireless power towers, and ideally I want it centered, so we'll set it up there. And of course you only are going to need one production facility for this, and you'll only need one in because you're ideally never going to store a ton of these. The other thing you're going to want a storage for is both of the components necessary to create these beautiful pieces of machinery. So you're going to want to set up one storage facility there and probably another one over here. And actually we're going to adjust the power distribution just slightly here to make it a little bit closer together, which doesn't affect anything but allows us to basically put the storage closer together so that we can do for these one in and one out, because we're not going to be producing enough to worry about. We will need again another one in and one out here as well. This will allow production of everything. So essentially we create these and then they get transported in and then out, and then they go into the wireless towers. For the wireless towers themselves, they require not prisms, so that's bad on my part. Oopsie. They need magnets, so we can of course have those come in. And that's actually quite nice because it really like makes the whole thing look pretty dang good. You have the prisms coming in, and you have the iron ingots coming in, and of course you could cut the prisms out and the iron out and bring everything a little bit closer. But I kind of like the long excess non-needed conveyor lines. I think they look pretty cool. This allows a huge backup storage of wireless power towers. It allows for a backup of the Tesla towers, and it allows backup of these what are they even called, the plasma exciters. So the backup storages are of course 60 and 60, and then only 20 of the wireless power towers, which will be eventually created. And as you can see, a few things that we had forgotten to do. I had actually forgotten to set these to a demand before I finished last episode, but now that it's on demand, we have these coming out. And it wasn't actually that I forgot to set a demand, I forgot the filter, but we do have the production up for those, so now we can start using these high-tiered conveyors, which is absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna head over to the deuterium facility, and I'll be right back. So welcome back to the deuterium facility. As you can see, there's been some minor adjustments made here to a few things. First of all, I've set a maximum storage for deuterium fuel rods and particle containers at 500 because I don't see us exporting a ton of them right now. The other thing I did set up that I forgot to do last episode was storage, and I do recommend setting storage up for your fuel rods and other materials so that you can, of course, have storage on hand of them. I've also swapped over 3 of the 4 fuel rods I'm using currently to deuterium, so that we have a little bit more power stored in there, and it burns a little bit quicker. As you can see, we have plenty of super magnets. The only thing these rods are lacking are deuterium. Now, there are 2 ways to create deuterium, and we've actually already done one method, which is using fractioners to create the deuterium with a 5% chance as the deuterium goes through. The other way to do that is with a miniaturized particle collider, but it is far more power intensive, and even with the power that we have currently, deuterium fractioning is still a much more efficient and much more effective way to set up deuterium. So I'm going to go ahead and head over to our deuterium facility, and we're going to set up a second set of deuterium production. Hey guys, welcome over to the deuterium facility. So before we go any further in today's episode, I want to upgrade and double up our deuterium facility, and I want to adjust a few things that we may have done wrong with our original design. So despite the fact that we will be doubling up on our current deuterium facilities, or deuterium facility for production of deuterium, we will be adjusting the original and building a new one. I am going to speed that up so you guys don't have to sit here, and I'm going to play some music in the background, obviously. Hey guys, welcome back. So here's the deuterium production facility that we're using to produce deuterium fuel rods. Of course, we need deuterium, or more deuterium, in order to more efficiently produce the deuterium fuel rods. Now, part of that, and part of what we're going to be doing with this facility today, is I'm going to be upgrading our current facility infrastructure to adjust for some information that has come to light since I built this one originally. I'm also going to be doubling up or building a second facility that'll be very similar to this one. I'm going to go ahead and speed that up so you guys don't have to watch the slow build, but I will be right back after the speed up. Hey guys, so welcome back from the speed up. Let's go ahead and get into this. So as you can see, the facility is basically just doubled up. I decided to go with one logistic station instead of two. I was gonna do two originally, but we did end up fitting it all into one, which is absolutely gorgeous. It does look a little janky with the conveyors because I was trying to go for that like symmetrical look, which is kind of hard because, well, there is no real line of symmetry here. If I wanted the whole thing to be symmetrical, it would have to be lined up on this conveyor here, and even then it's still not symmetrical because of the way the planet is. So we don't have absolute symmetry, but it is pretty dang close, and it looks and works really well. And as you can see, we're bringing in a ton of hydrogen, and we have a ton more storage than we did before. As you can see, we can store 10,000 hydrogen in this liquid tank alone, which is absolutely amazing because that allows us to basically we should have no problem. This should be a continuous stream. And something that I'm going to show you guys that's not in the speed up is a quick little trick to gain a little bit of extra production. So we're gonna run this over like that, and we're gonna do the same thing but on the opposite side here. And it's gonna run just like so. It's gonna come out the back here, and it'll run over and into there. So it will actually have two less efficiency, I guess. But the trick here, and the reason this will work even better, is because if a fractioner pulls out deuterium, that deuterium consumes a hydrogen. And so if we double up and allow hydrogen to be sent over here, this row gets better efficiency and has a higher chance of producing deuterium, which is really, really important. And you can see I forgot to pipe that in, so we'll pipe that in real quickly here. And as you can see, now it allows the deuterium to produce at a higher rate because this is a continuous conveyor belt here. And then of course you have a continuous conveyor belt after this. So this side actually has a little bit of a different style of efficiency. So I'm not sure which one's actually more efficient, but one of them's slightly more efficient and the other one's slightly less efficient, which really isn't much of a big deal. So, I mean, in the long run, it doesn't really matter, and it's just simple, like, does it really matter? No, but it exists, right? Like, I think that's kind of the note there, is it exists. That's the right placement, right? Yeah, there we go. I just want this to be a little bit more like a grid. And so as you can see, I mean, works like a charm. And we're gonna head over from here, and we're gonna head over and set up nanotube production. So I'll meet you guys over there. See you in a little bit. Hey guys, so welcome back from the deuterium facility upgrades. Right now we're gonna go ahead and get into producing the next major chemical, or not so much chemical, but material we need, which will be the nanotube, the carbon nanotube to be more precise, which requires both graphite and titanium, which means of course we'll need to upgrade our graphite facility off screen. I won't be doing that on screen because you guys have seen me build and even update the old carbon or graphite facility, so I'm sure you don't want to see it a third time, and it just becomes a little bit repetitive. So part of the production for nanotubes goes into producing frame materials, and that you'll need frame materials to complete Dyson Sphere components. You'll need nanotube for the particle broadband, which is used to create the information matrices, which we need to get online, which will probably be the main focus of next episode. And so as you can see, that nanotube is a pretty important and vital resource that we need to get online. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the production of carbon nanotube. So to set that up, I'm not quite sure how we want to do that yet. We'll need logistic stations, which means I'll have to wait on those to finish crafting. Not that crafting is fun to wait for, but we can set it up and get a general idea for how we want the facility set up. So each one of these will produce a carbon nanotube. In the basic recipe is that. What's the advanced recipe? The advanced recipe requires these. Oh, the crystal ore. which is extremely rare to find. So yeah, we're not going to be able to do that until we probably unlock the ability to go to other solar systems. So for now, I want to set up probably 8 carbon nanotube production, which isn't too hard. So as long as we maintain 2 lines between the chemical plants here, we can actually set up the production right through the center. So we can have both conveyors feed through here. Thanks to this being such a wide facility, we'll set this up with like 1 in here, and then we'll go into there. We'll do 1 in there and 1 in there, and then for the long side, we'll go from there to there and from there to there. And really, this will work out just fine because you get your short side and your long side, and it all looks absolutely fantastic in my opinion. So once we get this, once we do this, your next step, of course, has to be setting up a logistics station for that. I'm gonna have to wait on the crafting, so I will be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. So we're ready to finish up the logistics station here, which I couldn't do a second ago because I didn't have a logistics station, but we've got one now, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll have 1 resource come out of here, and we'll have the number 2 resource come out of here. And I went ahead and finished up a few of the little small details that are kind of important that you guys don't necessarily need to see because I talk about them enough. We set up storage for backup purposes, and of course we're going to need graphite, and we're going to need titanium. So I did set up those off screen and went ahead and piped up the remainder of this off screen, and we're pretty much ready to go ahead and pipe the resources in as soon as production has started. I also went ahead and finished the power station off screen so that you guys didn't have to sit around while that finished. So let's go ahead and go in there. That's that finished up, and we'll go ahead and throw I really want 2 storages on this, so we might as well make it symmetrical here. And we'll do 1 or 1 in and 2 out pattern, like I always talk about. Leaves us plenty, and then we can run a single power conduit over. That'll work there. Maybe what I'll do is back that off there, and then adjust this. Oh, if I could, you know, set this up right. There we go. And then I can simply come in and do that as well to power everything. So now we've got our systems working here, and we got a bunch of spare logistics drones to throw in here. We can start pulling in graphite and titanium, which allows us to produce our carbon nanotube, which we'll be transporting out. So we'll set up the carbon nanotube. For now, though, I don't have a use for the carbon nanotube, so rather than piping it out, I'm just going to let a massive stockpile build up between episodes. Because next episode I want to get into the production of information matrices as well as the broadband. Or, sorry, I want to get into the production of the information matrices, which requires the broadband, and I also want to start the production of frame material, which also requires carbon nanotube. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the updates of today. Hey guys, so I wanted to talk about a quick few updates that have been made to the facility. Again, I like to keep you guys up to date. So, off screen, we went ahead and upgraded the energetic graphite production of our facility, adding 27 energetic graphite smelteries to our transportation network, though they haven't been connected up yet because I lack the logistics station. I'm still waiting on the crafting queue to finish for that. But next up is the solar sail system, which I want to give a little bit of a special note to. So I'll head up there and be right back. So as mentioned, I wanted to give a little bit of a special note to the solar sail system, which has been upgraded since the solar sail episode, or episode 8 of the Dyson Sphere program. A few of the upgrades to this are pretty relative and pretty big. So I added a total of 5 energy ray receivers, which allow you to receive energy from your Dyson swarm as long as they have direct line of sight to the swarm itself. So as you can see, we have direct line of sight with all of our ray receivers currently to the sun, or rather the Dyson swarms, which allow them to receive power. Their total output's 12.5, so that's a massive amount of power that's being output up here. We also doubled the number of EM rail ejectors, and I'm looking to eventually upgrade and place a solar sail facility on the bottom of this planet so that we can eject more solar sails and receive even more power with our ray receivers. That's the major updates to this. We changed up the center from the power nodes that were there originally, and just overall made it a little bit better of a solar sail facility. The next thing I want to talk about is the upgrade to our magnetic coil production, which I would have been in last episode, but for some reason the footage got deleted. So let me head over there and I'll get you guys caught up. Okay, so welcome back. So like I said, I want to talk about the magnetic coil production, which I added an additional 3 to, upgraded the conveyor lines for the magnets coming in, and we'll need another magnetic coil facility inevitably to keep up with the production demand of our resources. As you can see, we have no backup and none stored in here, so we are pulling more and using more than we can physically produce at this point. So I need to work on another facility to set those up, but that'll have to wait, and that'll likely be done off screen because I already built this facility on screen with you guys. The next thing I want to talk about is a little ways away, so let me hop over there and I'll get you caught up. Welcome back. So this missed last episode's updates because, well, like I said, the footage got deleted, but we removed all of the coal power plants that were sitting over here, in grand total of like 30 of them, and took all their energetic graphite production and simply piped it at current, very sketchily piped it into this logistics station here, because we don't have enough energetic graphite to do all the production necessary. We still have, obviously, our hydrogen power plant and all our other power plants, and more than enough power, as our grid is pushing 700 megawatts of power and only consuming around 350, unless it's going into a high recharge in one of our logistics stations, at which point it could consume more. So that's really the end of the updates for today's episode. But if you guys have enjoyed and would like to subscribe, if you want to see a difference in content, a different game, I plan on posting Stellaris, which is a pretty fun game, and potentially some Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, which is another absolutely amazing game with some great combat mechanics in it. So if you want to see those, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification button, like, and you guys will get that content as soon as it releases. But without further ado, have a great one, and I hope to see you all again.